Mark?
Well, it's interesting how polarising the film has proved. I have to say that on balance, largely, many more people I've met like it than don't like it. And those that do have had a very profound emotional response to it. Many people have written about crying, which I was surprised by, because that was one thing that it never occurred to me that was the film that I was watching. It never had that effect on me at all, and I cry a lot in the movies, and I didn't in this. I interviewed Taika Waititi about a year ago, just when he was editing the films. He spent a long time editing it. That is something that he does. And he said this thing. He said he described it as a strange art comedy. You'll probably know that the source material is very different tonally, but he said it's kind of like a strange art comedy. He said none of my films are really comedies. They're films that have got comedy in them. So he didn't use the word satire, but he was talking about the difficulty of getting the balance between the comedic elements and the tragic elements right. And he was spending a lot of time in the edit to do that, and he thought that he had succeeded. And I have to say, from the audience responses, it seems that he has. My own feeling was that I agree with the first email, which was I didn't think it was funny enough or sharp enough to really cut to the heart of its subject matter. Robbie was very eloquent last week about a very particular take that he had on the film's failing, and something that therefore for him made the film aggressively problematic. And that is also something that I have heard, I have read from Peter Bradshaw in The Guardian. Again, I think he gave it a 1-star review and really, really didn't like it. I'm kind of in the middle. I think there are things about it that are interesting. I do think its heart is in the right place, and I think that Taika Waititi has tried to balance those tonal elements. And obviously, comedy in this area goes back to, Chaplin and The Great Dictator. Roberto Benigni's Life is Beautiful won 3 Oscars, although that always baffled me, because I never understood why people took Life is Beautiful to their heart so much. There is famously the Jerry Lewis Day the Clown Cried film, which nobody has seen yet, other than the few people who've seen the fragments of it. And it is a very, very hard thing to get right. Mel Brooks is on record, I believe, as saying that he thinks that Jojo Rabbit is terrific. And of course, the producers is the thing that was actually brought up by one of those emails. For me, I thought that the film didn't succeed in order to for the comedy and the satire and the tragedy to work. It has to be tougher in the tough bits, and I found it weirdly slightly bland, and it was a very weird thing for a film about that subject matter to be bland. That said, I think Thomasin McKenzie brought a real weight to the central role of Elsa, which I thought was underwritten, and I thought that she did very well with it. She is an amazing actor, and she was indeed brilliant in Leave No Trace, and I have no doubt that we are going to see so much more of her in the future. I just think the film itself didn't work tonally for me. I think when Taika Waititi was describing it, he described it to me, and he said, because this is for a podcast, no one can see the look of horror on your face as I describe the film. But I didn't find it offensive in any way at all. The problem was I found it a little bit bland. I thought it was fine. I don't think I don't think it's anything like as successful as Hunt for the Wilderpeople, which again took a source novel and transformed it into something very, very different from the source. So I think it's fine, and I know that you like it very much.
Yeah, I did. Well, I certainly liked it more than you. I would say I was very nervous about it in the same way I was nervous going into Death of Stalin, wondering, can this be laugh out loud funny and talk about the atrocities of Stalin? Yes. And it managed to do that, brilliantly.
What Stalin did, or
Stalin did.
I think Death of Stalin did, and I think it's a better film.
Yes, I think that's right. But I laughed out loud at Jojo Rabbit, and I also thought that it was. I thought they got the balance. I thought he got the balance absolutely right, and I thought the performances were terrific. And yes, and so I enjoyed it a whole star more than you did.
Yeah, sure. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, for me, it was a kind of middling. Okay, some successes, some failures. Some people absolutely love it and are in tears about it, and it's clearly profoundly affecting them. And some people really, really hate it.